You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
What non-state U.S. territory is named after Queen Elizabeth I, even though you won't find her name in the title? That question and more on today's episode of Triviality Mini.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality Mini, a 10-question quiz to make you the cream of the crop at your local trivia night. My name's Jeff, and I'm in the host seat for today's awesome game. As always, this quiz is brought to you by our amazing patrons who make all of our bonus content possible. If you'd like to help support the show so we can continue to release the same high-quality content every week, please consider going to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can get all of our episodes ad-free, and for $5 a month, all of our exclusive bonus episodes. Once again, that's patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And on to the questions. Question 1. Which two women's names appear in the lyrics to Footloose by Kenny Loggins? Question 2. What article of wrestling attire is commonly and almost exclusively worn by luchadores? Or luchadors, I guess. Question 3. What South American country's name comes from the Latin word for a precious metal? Question 4. In the acronym BIOS, B-I-O-S, what does the O stand for? Question 5. What 1980s film featured Louis Winthorpe III and Billy Ray Valentine? Question 6. What organ contains the papillary layer? Question 7. What is the name of the closest spiral galaxy to the Milky Way? We're actually on our way to merging with them right now, but I doubt any of us will be alive in a few 100 million years to see it. Question 8. Name one of the two elements on the periodic table whose names end in the letter C. Question 9. On How I Met Your Mother, in what year does Ted tell his kids the story of how he met their mother? And question 10. What number is the first one mentioned in the theme song for Captain Planet? All right, those are your 10 questions. We'll be right back with the answers after these messages.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey there, I'm David Harbour from Marvel Studios Thunderbolts. I don't mean to interrupt your favorite podcast. Well, actually, maybe I do, just a little bit, but I have a good reason. My new film hits theaters Friday, May 2nd, and it's got everything. Action, suspense, humor, heart, and Bob. Who's Bob? Find out by getting tickets now. Okay, now back to the show, or on to the next ad.
All right, question 1. Which two women's names appear in the lyrics to Footloose by Kenny Loggins? That is Louise and Marie. Question 2. What article of wrestling attire is commonly and almost exclusively worn by luchadors? Those are the luchador masks. Number 3. One country's name comes from the Latin for a precious metal, that metal being argentum. That would be silver, Argentina. Number 4. In the acronym BIOS, B-I-O-S, what does the letter O stand for? And that is basic input-output systems. So the O is output. Question 5. What 1980s film featuring Louis Winthorpe III and Billy Ray Valentine was I asking you to name? That is Trading Places. Number 6. What organ contains the papillary layer? It's probably the one you see the most often. That is your skin. Number 7. What is the name for the closest spiral galaxy to the Milky Way? That is Andromeda. Number 8. Name one of the two elements on the periodic table whose names end in the letter C. Tougher one. Usually you're asking for questions about what letters they start with, but this is zinc or arsenic. Question 9. On How I Met Your Mother, in what year does Ted tell his kids the story of how he met their mother? That is the very far off future of 2030. And last question for today. What number is first mentioned in the theme song for Captain Planet? That is 0. All right. And again, for your answer for the first question we asked, what non-state U.S. territory is named after Queen Elizabeth I? That is the Virgin Islands, as Queen Elizabeth I was known as the Virgin Queen. Well, I hope you enjoyed all those. Thank you for playing along today. We encourage you to rate and review the podcast on all of your favorite podcast apps. Follow us on social media at TrivialityPod. And again, as we've said many times, if you'd consider supporting us on Patreon, we would love to have you. That is patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And that'll do it for today's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new set of 10 questions in 10 minutes. Goodbye.
Incoming transmission.
Hello, this is Matt and McKinley from History Dispatches.
We are the father-son duo bringing you the weird, the wild, the wacky, and the craziest tales from across time.
From the Ice Bowl
to the Great Heathen Army.
And the head of Oliver Cromwell.
The same head they kept on a pike for 3 years?
Yep, all here on History Dispatches.
New episodes every weekday.
Find out more at historydispatches.com or wherever you get your podcast app.
Hey everyone, it's Dan Souza from America's Test Kitchen. I'm super excited to let you all know that we're launching a new video podcast that takes you behind the scenes into the messy, imperfect, but riveting day-to-day life right here in our test kitchen. Not only do I get to talk to my colleagues about the latest taste test they attended.
I just came from a tasting of salted caramel apple pie bars and then roasted garlic, so I apologize.
Or about a recipe they're developing.
The thing about this recipe is it's a secret. The restaurateur refuses to tell people what her secret ingredients are.
We also chat with amazing guests from the culinary world and beyond.
The lamest joke I've ever said. I said to Marie Bamford.
That's a great.
It's
definitely
great
said
joke. Thanks. Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe to In the Test Kitchen so you don't miss an episode. You can watch In the Test Kitchen on YouTube and Spotify and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Can't wait to see you in the Test Kitchen.